there, second graders. So today I'm excited for our activity because you need to decide which author and article you agree with. Remember, we were listening to articles that are about zoos and whether or not they are good for animals. The author who wrote that zoos are good for animals shared these reasons: that zoos treat animals that are sick, protect animals so they are safe from hunters, and that having animals in zoos allows scientists to study them. The article that says zoos are not good for animals shared that usually the enclosures that the animals are in are way too small, and it's not what they're used to in their natural habitat. And when they're too small, the animals pace back and forth because they're bored or restless. They also say that when animals are raised in a zoo, they don't learn to survive. That means if animals are raised in a zoo, they can't survive, which means they can never be let out in the wild again. So yesterday you were supposed to write down reasons why zoos are not good for animals. In just a moment, I'm going to reread both articles, and your job is to decide which one you agree with. Now, there's no right or wrong answer, it's your opinion. So you're going to share why you agree that zoos are good for animals or why you don't agree that zoos are good for animals. I'm going to read both articles, and then I'll come back and review what your job is today. Here are the two articles, and I am going to reread them both. The first one I'm going to read are zoos are good for animals. As I'm reading, you need to think about which article and author you agree with most. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my, just about everyone enjoys a trip to the zoo, but are zoos good for animals? Many people think that they are. One way that zoos help animals is by caring for them and treating animals that are sick. For example, the Wildlife Health Center at the Bronx Zoo in New York provides care for more than 15,000 animals. The zookeepers at the Bronx Zoo also work with animals to keep their minds and their bodies healthy. For example, the zookeepers use toys and games to help tigers develop their natural instincts, such as the instincts needed for hunting. Zoos protect animals too. Animals in zoos are safe from hunters. Zoos are also safe places for animals whose habitats are being threatened. By protecting animals, zoos help endangered species survive. In the last 30 years, zoos working with other conservation groups have helped save black-footed ferrets, California condors, red wolves, and other endangered species. Zoos are also places where scientists can study animals. Zoos often share information with other zoos and scientists, which helps everyone learn more about the animals. The more we understand about our animal friends, the more we can help protect them. The next time you visit the zoo, say thanks to the zookeepers for making life better for animals that live there. All right, so that was the article sharing why zoos are good for animals. Now I'm going to read why zoos are not good for animals. Imagine that you are visiting a zoo. You notice a lion in its cage pacing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The lion seems restless and unhappy, and it probably is. Experts say that when a lion, tiger, or other animal paces in its cage like that, it often means the animal is bored or upset. Does that make you feel bad? If so, you are not alone. Many people believe that keeping animals in zoos is cruel and unnatural. For one thing, some of the enclosures in zoos are much too small for the animals. Many zoos try and make their enclosures look like the animals' natural habitats. But just because it looks right to us does not mean it's good for the animals. Take elephants, for example. In the wild, elephants walk as much as 30 miles every day, looking for food and stopping at watering holes. Not even the best zoos can build enclosures large enough for elephants to live as they do in their natural habitat. In the wild, animals learn how to survive when they are very young. For example, a young leopard learns how and where to hunt by watching its mother. When they are raised in zoos, leopards and other young animals never learn these and other important skills. They do not have to because humans feed and protect them. This is not a good thing. Most animals raised in zoos can never go back to their natural homes. Some people say that zoos teach people about animals. Others argue that we do not have to put animals in cages to learn about them and that they belong in their natural habitat. All right, so you just got to hear both articles a second time, and now you get to decide what author you agree with. So your activity today is to either write, I agree that zoos are good for animals because, or I agree that zoos are not good for animals because. And then you give your reasons why. I'm excited to see what opinions you have about whether or not zoos are good for animals. And remember, there's no right or wrong answer. It's your opinion and you get to share it. So make sure that you post to your Google Classroom or ClassDojo for your teacher to see.